reason is that for 3 years, the state is going to pump more money into Gloucester for educating our children. In the first year, 120 students will shift from the district to the charter, so the district will have 120 fewer students to educate and no change in the budget as a result of the charter school. But the state is going to kick in about $1 million for the charter school to run. By the third year, the state will have kicked in over $3 million for the charter school that would not have been spent in Gloucester on public education. So charter schools, contrary to some of the myths out there, actually bring much more money into Gloucester for public education. Public education. Now, it is true that some of the control over that money shifts. It shifts from the school committee and the district superintendent to the board of trustees of the charter school. They use that money the same way that the district uses that money to educate the children in the charter school. It's a little bit less per pupil than is spent by the district, but it does shift, and that's a hard thing. People don't like shifts of control. People resist shifts of money, but it's a good thing because, once again, in a very democratic way, it gives you, the parents, choice. Choice without leaving the district. Choice without paying tuition. Now, the next sort of thing that we might all be thinking about, and I know you're all very excited to hear what our plan will be and the kind of school that we envision, and that's just about to come. But just before we get there, I want to talk about the relationship between the charter school and the district. I've seen good relationships and not so good relationships, and it seems to me that the most beneficial way to get better education for every child in Gloucester is for us to forge a good relationship. I've had a meeting with Greg Verga, I've had a meeting with Val Gilman, and I believe that our relationship with the school committee is beginning to become a very good one. And it needs to be good for a couple of specific things. One is transportation. Now, we haven't set the day starting time or the ending time of the school day yet, and we haven't set it for a reason, because the district is responsible for transporting kids to the school just like they would be responsible for transporting kids to any other school. I mean, if you open up a new school, the district transports the kids to that school. That's the way it works. Our job is to work out a transportation model with the school committee, and we would prefer if the school committee would give us their suggestion for what would be the easiest to accommodate. What time should we start? What time should we end? How can we fit that in to the existing transportation system so there's very little or no disruption? And the second very important thing that would require a good working relationship is special education that cannot be handled by what we have here in the district. Now, right now, if someone has serious special education needs that cannot be handled by the district, they need to go outside somewhere else and the city pays for it. And it's very expensive. Our first phone call, if we get a student who has a problem that we cannot meet in our school, now we'll do the regular special education, we'll have special education professionals, they'll talk about that more later. But let's say that someone is just not possible for us to handle. Our first call will be to Mr. Farmer, who's also here, and I forgot to recognize him. Thank you for coming. And we're going to say to Mr. Farmer, you know, we got this problem. I don't think we can handle this child. Is there a way that the district can? How should we best plan for this child's education? That's going to be our first call. And this is going to be as a result of a very good working relationship that we are all committed to forging with the school committee. It's already started. I think it's going to get better. Thank you. Now, what we're going to do is Bruce Canep, one of the members of our founding group, is going to present our mission and vision. And then Amy Ballin, another member of our founding group, will present the school characteristics and give you a feel for what it would be like to be in this school as a student, as a parent, as a teacher. And then Karen Acapel is going to help us all get excited about getting involved and what we can do to make this work well for all of us. So, Bruce? Oh, I'm sorry, and after that, we'll have some time for questions. There will be time for questions. And if we have to change the tape, he's going to raise his hand, and I'm going to stop for a minute.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Bruce Canep, and I'm here to speak with you about the mission and the vision. Hopefully you got that on a piece of paper when you came in, and don't worry, I'm not going to read it word for word. Actually, what I'd like to do is I was a middle school teacher for 11 years, and actually I taught close to 1,000 middle school students. But I'm not going to speak with you as a teacher. I'm going to speak with you as a parent. My wife and I, we have 4 children, and their names are Holly, Kristen, Kyle, and Brian. And when I think of them and I think of their future, when I think of them as adults, I want them to be full human beings. I want them to be well-functioning, well-educated, but I want them to be more than that. I want them to be interested in school. I want them to be positive members of their community. And so when I think of what I really want from a school, it's more than just reading and writing and arithmetic. What I really want is a well-developed child who becomes a contributing member of society. And so our mission statement speaks directly to that. If you look at our mission statement, I'm really going to focus on the 3 aspects near the bottom, which are academically accomplished, intellectually curious, and civically engaged. Now, we all know schools, students should be academically accomplished. We want them to read well, write well, solve problems, and perform well in school. But again, think as parents. I hope we have much higher aspirations for children than that, because when I really think of my children, I think they're much more than just students. They're human beings. And I want them to have the feelings of human beings and experience the beauty of life and what it's like to really contribute to others and live in community with others. And because of that, our school is also going to focus on intellectual curiosity. Now, that sounds pretty fancy. What that really means is, you know what? They're interested in learning. They like it. Okay? They actually find what they're doing interesting in school. Now, I didn't find a whole lot interesting in school. I wish I had, until I actually found in high school and later in college when I found what I really liked. But I wish when I was in school that there were things that felt really spoke to me, and I could feel like I could make connections to my daily life as a child, what was going on in school to life. And if I had those connections, I would feel very, very interested in school. And I'd find meaning in what I was doing. So that's what we're really talking about with intellectual curiosity, and that's going to be one of the major components of our school. Another one of these is beyond being good students, beyond being interested in school, being curious about what you're learning, is to become civically engaged. Again, a fancy term. What that really means is this. It means to be good community members. To learn to be positive role models with kids around you, to respect each other, to work well with the school, and also with the community. It means that life is larger than yourself. It's more than just about the grades. It's about others around you. And that's a very important lesson to learn when you're 4, 5, 6 years old. Because if you learn that when you're 4, 5, 6, when you're an adult and you're living in a neighborhood, you'll be a nice, well-functioning member of society, because you'll realize it's not just about you, it's about the neighborhood, and the more you work together, the better off everybody's going to be. So that's what we're really trying to get with civic engagement. We're going to do these through using the beautiful resources of Gloucester. I mean, just in here you see the arts here, but this is one of many, many places in Gloucester. And also you have the natural beauty around here. So beyond those is we're going to be using the arts and the beautiful, wonderful natural resources here as a theme to infuse in the curriculum. So what that might mean is when a student is studying history, he or she